2024 just started, and the gaming industry is already blessing us with some absolute shovelware on Steam. So today, a tactical shooter by the name of Contain went into early access, and honestly, it is probably one of the worst games I've played in quite some time. Now, if you've seen anything about Contain, the trailers for this game and all the information about it sounded really cool. I mean, it kind of sounded a lot like Ready or Not, but with a little bit of a fantasy flair, I guess, since there's these like weird anomalies that you can run into. It's an up to 4-player co-op game, so again, very similar to that Ready or Not style of play, and the gameplay is also very similar. It's a tactical shooter where you work with your friends or random players to try and clear out an area and kind of do the different objectives based on the different level. However, the game just isn't any fun. So currently it's in early access, which obviously you got to give a little bit of leeway to the game, but this game, in my opinion, shouldn't be charging a price tag. This is a $30 game, and currently, as of today, the optimization is absolutely horrible. It crashes a ton, and like half the time when you try and join a lobby, the game just black screens, and you just sit there until you force close the game and relaunch it. Now, content-wise, there are a ton of guns in the game, and there is actually a surprising amount of customization for those guns, and for whatever reason, you can put a scope and a red dot on your gun, which is kind of funny. So if you're into guns and customizing them, that part of the game is pretty cool. You can also customize your character, though from what I can tell, all this stuff is just unlocked by default. There's no like progression or anything for it, so to me that's a little bit boring. But Ready or Not, to my knowledge, is also pretty similar, where you can just use all the guns out of the gate. Now currently the game has 4 different levels that you can do, which have some different objectives and a little bit different play style and some different environments that they'll throw you in. The gameplay though is really weird. The gunplay itself isn't too bad, but the AI is just ridiculous. It seems like they pretty much know where you're at literally all times. You'll wrap a corner sometimes and basically get pre-fired by the AI, and they'll just randomly completely laser you. And obviously the time to kill in a game like this is pretty low, so out of nowhere the AI will just absolutely crap on you. And since it's that more tactical shooter, if you're dead, you're just dead. That's the end of the run for you. And if your friends can finish the level, then obviously you can beat it, but most likely getting randomly absolutely domed by an AI probably means the end of your level. There's also this weird ball that just follows you around and kills you, and I'm sure there's something to it, but I really just have no clue. It's also like, this isn't a downside. In the main little area where you can like pick your different missions and customize your guy and, you know, do a firing range or do the little training area where you run around and shoot the targeting dummies, there's these fake game posters, which are actually game posters for this company's other game that they're working on. And we're going to talk about that because it's pretty funny. But this game does have a roadmap. So they actually have a roadmap out through June. And as you can see, the roadmap is honestly kind of funny, but it does show they're at least planning on making some decent improvements. So in every single month, one of the improvements is AI improvements, and this game needs it. So hopefully some of those improvements are actually pretty notable. They're also going to do optimization and bug fixes for the next 2 months. They're going to add voice chat next month, which is actually pretty funny because currently there's no voice chat or text chat, so there's no way to talk to people whose games you join. So unless you're in a Discord or something, there's no communication in this game. They're also going to add some new maps and new guns and attachments and equipment and all that stuff over time. In March, they're adding door mechanics, whatever that means. And in May, they're going to add some new enemy types. And in June, they're going to add a PvE extraction map. Honestly, that might be the only part of this game that is like slightly intriguing to me. And in June, you'll also get the ability to finally have AI teammates. So obviously, this game is really early access. But like I said, they're charging $30 for this game. And while I can kind of see the light, like there are little bits of this game that seem fun if you're into tactical shooters, right now I couldn't recommend this game at all. It in its current state, there's just not much game there. It's not very fun, and it runs absolutely horribly. It, in my opinion, isn't ready for early access. And I think that's the problem with early access, is sometimes you get an early access game that is actually like really far along and really good, and the company is just putting it out to get some feedback and to kind of slowly update it over time. But then you get early access games like this, where the game, in my opinion, is almost in like a pre-alpha state, and you really shouldn't be charging money for it. You know, put out free tests or whatever you want, but once you put a $30 price tag on the game, to me that signifies that it should be of some level of quality, even if you put the early access tag on it. And I don't think Contain is that. Now, this game is developed by a developer called Singing Giant, and this company has developed no other games. But if you take a look at their website and the Contain the Game website, this is where it gets really funny. So the first thing we'll do is we'll take a look at their developer website. So this is singinggiant.com, and this is where you can learn all sorts of things about your new favorite developers for Contain. You'll see here at the bottom that they are working on 2 games, Contain and Revenge the Mage, which are what those posters are from. However, funnily enough, if you try and open revengeofthemage.com, oh, interesting, the website's not done. This is a common trend, you'll see a little bit more. If you go over to our studio, you can see, some random gibberish, and some of the stuff is kind of broken English because they are based in Istanbul, but you'll see like all the developers, they all have their fancy little headshots. And you have this guy who's just like a default SWAT guy. And I don't know, that just made me laugh so hard. Interestingly, you see over here in the contact info, there's the R location. And if you click on this, you would think maybe there's a mailing address or something. And they do give you a place that you can email, but there's no phone number, there's no address. They say they're based in Istanbul, but this website actually has no proof of that. Which isn't the end of the world, but compiled on top of the state of the game, I think is kind of telling. There's also the shopping tab here at the bottom, which if you click on it, also takes you to a 404 error page, which again, it's just comical to me. I don't know. I feel like if you were going to make a website, you should at least make all the links work if you're going to publish a game that links to this website. And that's pretty much it for the main website. So if we click here, we can go to the Contain website. So this is for the game itself. And here you can also see some pretty funny stuff. There's an FAQ here at the bottom. And I understand that English probably isn't their primary language, but like some of these answers are just hilarious. So one of the questions is, how well is Contain optimized? And they basically just say like, we're trying. And then there's questions like, what about violence? And the answer is, this is an FPS game. Of course, spelled OFC, there is blood and curse words with a smiley face. And that's actually the same way that they answer if the game will have controller support. Probably. And to me, that's just comical. Like, you have this official website with a Q&A, and you're just answering questions with like shorthand and smiley faces. Like, I don't know, it's just too funny. And that's pretty much Contain. Now, if you look through the Steam reviews, as of writing and recording this video, they are mixed on Steam. Earlier, they were mostly negative, but some people seem to be throwing in some positive reviews, and I think sometimes people are a little too generous with their reviews on indie games, especially early access ones. But I understand you don't want to like bury a game just because it came out a little bit rough. However, like I said, the state of this game to me is a definite not recommend. But if you read through it, a lot of people talk about the terrible state, they talk about the AI, they talk about how the feedback for the shooting is bad, and there's this funny one where it just says Ready or Not from Wish, and it is very much just Ready or Not, but a whole lot worse. Like, if you for some reason enjoy this game, just go play Ready or Not. It is this game, but better in pretty much every single conceivable way. But there are people that do think the game has like a nice foundation, and they think there's something to build on. Now, I'll kind of put it on paper or video or whatever this would be. I don't think Contain really gets much better. I think this will be a game that probably, got a decent amount of sales. At one point, they had 100,000 wish lists, and I think it kind of just middles through early access, gets some updates here and there, and eventually kind of probably fizzles out. But hopefully I'm wrong. Maybe Contain will get it all together and it'll be massively improved by the time the game fully releases, whenever that is. But that is my opinion on Contain. I would not recommend this game. I would not buy this game. Maybe later on it'll be better, and then maybe I could recommend buying it. But as of today, you should not spend your money on this early access title. And that's pretty much going to do it for the video. If you enjoyed it, you know what to do.